Hello and welcome from Budapest. This is Hungary Reports, kicking off Public Media M1's foreign language news hour. I'm Árpád Szőci with the latest from Hungary and the Carpathian Basin. Thanks for joining us. Hungary expects the European Union's new Africa strategy to focus on economic development programs and on improving security instead of creating situations that would see new waves of migrants coming to Europe. That's what Hungary's Foreign Affairs and Trade Minister said in Brussels at an EU foreign ministers meeting. Péter Szijjártó pointed out that the new strategy is supposed to boost the ability of African countries to retain their population in a way that keeps pace with population growth.
If we do not manage to achieve this goal, more and more waves of migration will start out from Africa. We expect the new Africa strategy of the European Union to help the implementation of economic development programs, improve the security situation, and not to be set up to inspire new waves of migration.
And on the subject of possible new EU sanctions regarding human rights on the agenda of the EU Foreign Affairs Council, the Hungarian Foreign Affairs Minister said Hungary would only support it providing it is based solely on legal principles, with countries being dealt fairly and equally, and the procedure not having political overtones. He also said that certain human rights crises aren't even being dealt with.
I do not understand how we can talk about human rights without taking into consideration the rights of minority groups or the rights of persecuted religious groups. I did emphasize here that it is one of our expectations of the new Commission to not apply double standards and selective approaches and not to pick and choose. If we talk about human rights, we should use this concept universally. I do believe that it is a legitimate and justifiable expectation from our part, and I would like to draw attention to the issue of compensation once more. It does not work that we make joint decisions and then these measures have completely different effects on the countries concerned, not to mention that these decisions cannot even be discussed.
Thousands demonstrated at Modács Square in Budapest against a government plan to reform funding for theaters. Protest organizers claim that the new law would take away the autonomy and freedom of theatrical houses. Many politicians from the opposition took part, as did noted actors and directors. The manager of the Vörös Sándor Theatre in Szombathely, Tamás Jordan, said that those people will talk at the demo who have something to lose.
The desire for a clear conscience overrides everything. What is being prepared now legally against Hungarian culture is something every individual with a clear conscience has to stand up against.
And that clear conscience also has a lot to do with a recent sexual harassment case that brought this theatre reform package to the forefront. A director of Budapest's Katona József Theatre, acclaimed stage and film director Péter Gotár, was recently let go after complaints were made by actresses about him making unwanted sexual advances. An investigation is now ongoing into the accusations. The head of the country's theatrical organization said that the new bill would also solve a number of unjust measures that have been around for years. Parliament is expected to vote on the new bill on Wednesday.
It is unacceptable that if something like the Gotár case bursts out, the responsibility of leaders does not even crop up, the government spokesperson said. Last week, the spokesperson confirmed that the government would modify the funding and maintenance system of theaters. István Holik added, besides other reasons, this is also needed because of the sexual harassment scandal surrounding Péter Gotár. The government spokesperson stated that the total amount of cultural subsidies would not be altered, nor would the National Cultural Fund be abolished. However, its operation would be reformed. With the new Theatre Act, the government would handle the decades-long problems of professional stages in a democratic way, Attila Vinyánszky, president of the Hungarian Theatrical Association, said on Public Media's M1 station. The director of the National Theatre pointed out that the government would negotiate with every single theatre, and theatrical troupes could choose from three alternatives. The local government either takes over financing of the theatre or hands it over to the pertaining ministry, which would provide the funding. Or alternatively, funding can be jointly shared. In each theatre's case, everything will be renegotiated. I do believe that a better and more democratic solution could hardly have been found, the president of the association explained. Widnянski also mentioned that he was glad about the contents of the proposed act, since it provided an opportunity for replanning and for abolishing unfair situations. He pointed out, at present, almost 80% of theatrical subsidies come from the maintaining ministry, yet it does not have a direct say in the proceedings of theatrical groups.
The Pope paid a visit to an exhibition of nativity scenes at the Vatican. This year, Hungary is the guest of honor at the exhibition. The Pope was also treated to a Hungarian choir performance and a nativity play. He also got the Hungarian Christmas candy specialty called szaloncukor, for which he said thank you in Hungarian.
The pupils of the Kodai Zoltán Choir School performed Christmas carols as well as a remarkable nativity play with Transylvanian roots in honor of the head of the Catholic Church. Following the performance, Pope Francis shook hands with the young people. He was grateful for the Hungarian nativity themes. At the exhibition in the Vatican, 18 Hungarian handcrafted nativity scenes are on view. There are nativities made of wood, beads, gingerbread, recycled paper, as well as corn husks. The auxiliary bishop of Esztergom, Budapest said, "The papal audience is indeed a gift." It's a huge opportunity for us to show our traditions, but it's also a huge opportunity for us to draw attention to the Eucharistic Congress. Personally, I don't think it would have been possible to draw these two events together in a better way, Ferenc Cserháti said. The 52nd International Eucharistic Congress, one of the largest religious events of the world, will be held next September in Hungary. Budapest will serve as the central seat of the Congress. However, there will also be an array of programs in major cities around the country. Tens of thousands of pilgrims from abroad are expected. Hungary has been participating in the Nativity exhibition of the Vatican since 1993. This is the first time Hungary was the guest of honor. The Hungarian nativities will be on view until January the 12th of 2020.
If you want to have a kind of fairy tale adventure, then come over to the Reguli Antal Ethnographic Museum in Zirc in central Hungary. There you'll find an entire world built out of gingerbread, with themes referring to the man the museum is named after, Antal Reguli. He was an ethnographer who traveled deep into Russia all the way to the Ural Mountains and beyond. The display will be open until the end of the year. And the people in Csakán Doroszló in western Hungary have a bright idea every Christmas. That's when one of its town gates is awash in light. In fact, it's part of a special annual open-air exhibition featuring the Arctic Circle home of St. Nick or Santa. More than 5,000 LED lights brighten things up. Putting up the entire thing was certainly a Christmas chore, taking 3 months to do. And that's all for now. But don't forget, you can catch Hungary Reports every night after the 11 p.m. Hungarian news and online as always. Please stick around if you can for our German, Russian, and Chinese language news. Thanks very much for watching, and viszontlátásra.